Hey guys, welcome back to another awesome adventure in art with Mr. Rossi. Today, we're going to knock out Jack Skellington. If you didn't get a chance to do Pumpkin King, which is the character of Jack Skellington before he turns into Jack Skellington, and if you don't know what I'm talking about because you haven't seen the movie, I suggest if you have Disney Plus, check it out. It's on Disney Plus, The Nightmare Before Christmas. So he is the Pumpkin King first. Then he catches on fire or whatnot, drops himself into the fountain of water, and comes out as the Jack Skellington. So this is the character we're going to start drawing. And if you missed that first video of the Pumpkin King, one more time, go back. It's on the channel. Check it out. Do it. Drop a like and all that good stuff that we do for the YouTube experience. Let's begin with a little Jack Skellington. All right. Let's start at the top with a nice circle, just like when we did the Pumpkin King or any other drawing where we start off with a nice circle for the head. Remember that circle's got to be big enough to put a face in it. We're going to put a nice number 11 at the bottom, close together because he's a Skellington. And again, you want to stop at a blue line. We're going to use these blue lines for measuring, all right? So, if you remember, because you did, the Frankenstein monster, we use the letter V to close that neck. So we're going to use the letter V again to close this, but I'm going to make it a little bit wider, and I'm going to go over it a couple times with my marker here. So you might want to go over it a couple times with your pencil or your pencil, Spanish for pencil. And I'm going to begin again right at the bottom of that letter V, and I'm going to draw my diagonal line going up. And I'm going to draw my diagonal line going up on the other side. And I'm going to begin one more time. This time I'm going to make it more like a little bit like a sad face. And a sad face. Because he's got this big bow tie that is made of a bat. Very stylistic bat. And that's what we just did. So now you're going to put your pencil right here. And again, you're going to pick a blue line where to stop. And you're going to draw the number 1. So give yourself a nice tall number one. Number one. That is Spanish for number 1. On the other side, it's going to kind of look like a capital letter D. So you're going to put like a happy face here and close. Don't go too far wide. Remember that he is a Skellington. He is not Oogie Boogie. And close it at the bottom. And since we're already here, let's put the letter V on the inside. V for victorious. So now we got the torso. And if you go right back to anywhere along the top of that bow tie, give me one diagonal line. Add a parallel line to it. Remember, they got to be close together because, again, reminding you, he's a Skellington. And I'm going to go back to the body with a diagonal line and back one more time. And it looks like a triangle. All right? And I'm going to add one more diagonal line going down and a parallel line next to that. And I'm going to leave it open because later on I'm going to put the fingers in there when we draw that together. But I want to go ahead and draw this arm and get that one ready. So I'm going to draw a diagonal. And again, pick a blue line and go ahead and draw a diagonal line going down. Add your parallel line. And now we're going to go up. And again, pick a blue line where to stop. And at the top, to close that, I'm going to make it look like a capital letter T. Like a capital letter T. And if you go ahead, right here, now we're going to start dropping those fingers in there. Put the number 1, just like that. So it looks like a letter L. And I'm going to add 3 happy faces. 1, 2, 3. And you see how they're all touching right here. Okay? They're all touching right there. They're all meeting. Move this over just a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. And I'm going to add just parallel lines to it, which is just the other side, making sure that I close everything else nice and neat. So I just added like another letter L to it. I'm going to add another little happy face to close it, and another happy face here to close it, and one more happy face here to close it. If you go like this and you just put little black spaces, okay, that is the bones. So I just put these little black spaces in there so that it looks like his bony fingers. Okay, that works great. Let's add over here the other fingers for this hand. I'm going to go ahead and put one happy face, a second happy face, and a third happy face. And these are all coming from this diagonal line. This one kind of made like a little point, but this one just kind of resting off the diagonal line right there. And I'm just going to add parallel lines to it again. 1, 2, and 3. And again, you want to put those little black spaces in there so that his hands look like bony fingers, little bony M. Now, you're going to start here so we can do the legs. You're going to draw a nice tall number 1. I draw it almost to the very last blue line. And again, I'm going to turn it to the letter L. So I go nice and tall, and I turn it into the letter L. And just do the other side. It's just running down a parallel line and close it. And we're going to do it just like if you did Pumpkin King with me. We're going to draw the nice diagonal line and turn it into a triangle with a letter L at the bottom. So you go diagonal line. I pick a blue line. I add my other diagonal line since I'm already here. And I go back diagonal down, letter L, diagonal line down, and close it. Now he's got a coat tail because his coat has these little tails. So you go like this and you just go happy face, one time, happy face. I'm using it right off the top of this leg, but you could do it right here if you want on the torso. It doesn't matter. But mine's going to come off the side of the leg. And in this little opening there, you just want to close it with the letter V. He's got little details along his costume. Those are just like lines like this. Just draw these little lines. And I'm going to put some here. Because he's so skinny, it's kind of tough to do it like around the arms. But you could just go like that and add it. And then later, you'll go ahead and color it in just a little bit with your black crayon, maybe a blue crayon on top of that. Let's go ahead and draw that face right quick. And that face starts off with a very large smile that takes up almost the entirety of that circle. Now, you could leave it like that, but he does have these little curls on these edges. Then you can leave it like you got it, but it's just a little curl. Just take that little side and just curl it a little bit. Like if you're drawing like another happy face or the letter C up there. So if you think of the letter C or little happy face, you'll have that little curl looking pretty gangster. Go ahead and it's vertical lines all throughout this thing. He's got a very large mouth and lots of teeths. 2 diagonal lines will give you a nose. I go over it a couple times. And his eyes are always 2 different sizes of circles. And I'm just going to color mine in a little bit there. Since you're not using my Sharpie right now, you could go ahead and color yours in also. But if you ever get a chance to use a Mr. Rossi Sharpie, please don't do what I'm doing with it, because it'll just run out quickly. And there we go. You have a Jack Skellington, but I'm not done yet. I want to add a little background, which is just a sad face coming along the back here, wherever I don't have my Jack Skellington figure, and a sad face going down right there. Later, I'm going to connect this to another drawing. So you want to come back to do this other drawing, because this is kind of like a 2-part drawing, and it's going to be connected with this sad face. So you want to draw that sad face in there. I'm put a little pumpkin here to remind us that he is the Pumpkin King. So to draw your pumpkin, start with the letter C. And you add another letter C on the other side, connecting the 2. And I put a rectangle here. And I'm going to put the diagonal lines with the letter V along the bottom. And the letter V making up the mouth. And I'll put these little lines in here for the pumpkin creases. And again, if you want to put a little bat up there in the corner, remember that's the letter M. You go up, you go down, and you close it with a sad face. And there you have a Jack Skellington, ready for color, ready for a little bit of Halloween excitement. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hey, if you really feel that bad about it, give it a thumbs down. As long as you interact with the video, I'm happy. And share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with the neighbor. Share it with the cat. Share it with the dog. Share it with abuelo, with abuela. Anybody could do this stuff. Again, guys, I appreciate you for being here. Appreciate you for being a part of Mr. Rossi's art lessons. Until next time, be excellent to yourselves.